Jack was charming, but serious. However, Sam was the better dancer and was always joking. The brothers looked alike, with dark brown hair and bright blue eyes. But they were complete opposites when it came to their characters. Both had taken her eye, and both had argued with each other for her affections. She really shouldn't be thinking about either, Meg told herself as she made her way along the road home. But then she broke into song, feeling a spring in her step as she remembered their smiling faces. She'd do as she liked, and not even her father would stop her. "Well, you've taken your time, young lady. I hope you haven't been trailing up those lead mines and fluttering your eyelashes at the men. None of 'em up there are worth out. They've none of 'em got a penny to their names." Agnes Oversby looked up from her baking and shook her head as her daughter came sauntering into the kitchen at their home, Beckside Farm. "You can take that time out of your hair and all, especially if one of them gave you it, madam." She looked at her slim, dark-haired daughter and shook her head. Meg was a bonny lass with a glowing complexion, and Agnes knew that many a man would soon be wanting to court her. "I've not been anywhere near the mines, mother. I've taken me time because the day is so warm, and after all, it's a fair way there and back. Me legs feel like jelly." "I'm glad father'll be taking the horse and trap as usual next week." Meg slumped into the Windsor chair next to the fireside and took the wild thyme out of her hair, then played with the purple flowers in her hand. "Aye, well, you needn't think you're going to sit there for long. You can take your father a jug of ginger beer. He'll be dying of thirst in this heat while he's scything the top meadow. I'm busy baking and haven't time to see to him. You'll both complain if there wasn't anything to eat in the house." Agnes scowled at her daughter. Meg had been out all day, and while she knew it was a good distance, she should have been back sooner. "Has Harry paid up? Did you tell him there'd be a few pounds more butter next week, now the cows are milking well?" "Yes, and the money's in the basket. And he's glad you can supply him with more butter. He says there's a new influx of miners moved into Dale after a fresh vein of lead was found at the Sir Francis level." Meg yawned and leaned back in the chair, showing no inclination to get up and walk to the high meadow with a drink for her father. "That'll mean more rubbish coming into Dale. They've ruined those hills with the mining and damming of the becks. That land's going to be worth nowt if they're not careful." Agnes cut out the scones she had been making and placed them on her baking tray, before brushing them with beaten egg, then walked over to the fireside oven. "Stir your shanks. Get gone with your father's drink, and on your way back you can bring me the eggs from the hut. While you're about it, have a look in the clump of nettles next to the cowshed. I saw an old hen making a way out of 'em this morning, and I bet she's nesting there." Agnes placed her scones in the oven and nudged Meg's legs to get her to move. "I've always got to be doing something. You never let me be," Meg growled as she went to the big earthenware bowl of homemade ginger beer, specially brewed for haytime, and filled a pottery jug to the brim for her father to drink out of. "'Tis the devil makes work for idle hands. It's better that you're busy than sitting there romancing over them useless lads. Now, get gone, and don't forget to look for that nest." Agnes flicked her tea towel lovingly at her 19-year-old daughter. Meg was a grown woman who knew her own mind now, and Agnes feared she had lost her little girl. Meg walked through the farmyard. The sun was still hot, and the smell of the dry earth and the chickweed and the groundsel crushed beneath her feet filled the air, as she opened the yard gate and walked up the wooded outrake to the meadow that her father was mowing with his scythe. She knew it was hard work, but her father had put his foot down when her mother had suggested that he pay one of the neighbours' lads to help him, saying that he could manage it himself and needed no one. So when she saw him covered in sweat and swearing at his lot, she didn't feel much sympathy. "Are you hot and bothered, father?" Meg passed him the jug of ginger beer and looked around her. "I bloody well am, lass. It's hard work is this. It'll take me until nightfall to mow this meadow." Tom Oversby wiped his brow free of sweat, after taking a long gulp of the fiery brew. "I'll have to ask you or your mother to milk the cows tonight. I want to crack on and get this done." He looked at his daughter, who seemed to feel no love for the farm that would be hers one day. "I suppose I could do the milking, as long as that awkward buttercup doesn't stand on my..."